I have to admit, I thought that when we hit the summer of 2036, we were going to be building a team to challenge for the title at Porto. My, how things have changed. We're still challenging for a title, but we're doing it at Paris Saint-Germain. And welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of our summer transfer special. This is episode number 132 of Bottom to the Top. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I am Mr. Cellophane, and we have already begun to try to ship some of our players out. The first one out the door was Mario de Luis. Now, you remember from yesterday's episode, he was the one goalkeeper left because of the retirements of Heidel and Donnarumma. So you think this leaves us without a goalkeeper? Don't worry, we'll be getting to that. €1 million was paid just last summer for De Luis to be a backup here. We got 2.2 million, 1.8 up front with a little bit extra on the back end. So doubling our money for Mario de Luis. We just looked at him and we're like, yeah, this is not the guy to get us through to the top of Ligue 1. Now, there were a few transfers that were already arranged before we got here. The first was 22-year-old Russian left-back Viktor Stornyakov. Now, we could have probably used a guy like Stornyakov on our team, at least in a backup capacity, but he had a €44 million release clause that was met, so he is off to Bologna. Joining him out the door, we talked a little bit about him last episode. 27-year-old Spanish forward Marcos Toro. 80 million all told, 42 million up front. He's going to be joining Monaco, so he's staying here in France. Again, it was a release clause that was met, but don't worry, we've got plenty of coverage at the positions he can play. Obviously, we've talked about Dimas Torquato. We have a bright youngster in Pietro Baldassari, who we really didn't get a look at in the last episode, but also an incredibly talented winger. Now, he is limited to the left-hand side. The 22-year-old Italian has already capped 19 times for Italy, scored 3 goals. He's going to be a very serviceable backup for us on that left-wing side. Surprisingly, more interest than we thought was being shown in 31-year-old right-back Ivan Fresneda. We originally got a €31 million offer in on him, but then we decided to shop him around a little bit more. A few more teams threw their hats in. Ultimately, the highest bid went to Valencia. Fresneda, the Spanish national, is off to Spain for €37 million. Another player we kind of passed over, the 32-year-old Norwegian left winger Andreas Schlederup. We've already talked about our depth at the left wing position. We are in a good place now and in the future over there, which made Schlederup expendable. 28 million to go to Spain as well, to Real Betis. And finally, we talked about him in our last episode as well. Paul Wanner, the 30-year-old German-Austrian dual national, was not happy at the club. He wanted to move on to a bigger challenge. We obliged him €57 million to go to Al Ittihad. Now, the fan base was not exactly thrilled. As you remember, he was quite the popular player. And as you see, his value has gone way up. But he's making €825,000 per week. He was earning 300 grand here. We felt that our money was better spent elsewhere. Now, we do have a number of irons in the fire, and you can probably expect to see some familiar faces because we can afford to have them here at PSG. The first one coming in is our brand new goalkeeper. He's world class. 1.5 million, if you remember, to go to Fulham from Suwon. He has developed very, very nicely. Kim Seon-il, only 23 years old, is here to be our goalkeeper of the future. We did have some very similarly skilled options that we were potentially looking at, but we decided that based on his age, the investment in Kim Seon-il was well worth it. We also got a deal over a line for a backup goalkeeper. He's probably going to end up being our third string. We are keeping our options open, but he was cheap. 99,000 euros to bring in Amir Saipi, 35-year-old Kosovan Swiss, dual national. He is a big boy, 6'4". He will be very serviceable in a backup role, but we do not really expect to see him. So his contract is very incentive and performance laden. Fans were like, let's see what he brings, but for the most part, we don't expect much from him. And one last signing that we have already been able to complete. Now, this one really got the fans and the board going because of this player's reputation. They're looking forward to great things from the 23-year-old Brazilian Aimore, just signed from Flamengo. 17.5 million euros to get this one over the line. Now, his price in the transfer market wasn't huge, but we are paying him quite a bit, 145,000 euros a week. Maybe we're overpaying a little bit there. This is a player that we've been scouting for a very long time. We knew we could not afford him at Porto. We knew his salary demands were going to be a little bit up there. He's obviously not as far up the list of our highest paid players right now, but the 23-year-old left back is going to look to get quite a bit of playing time. Does need to work a little bit on his technical skill, but he is very defensively minded. He loves big matches, professional personality, lots to like about Aimore. And just in case you thought I was kidding when I said familiar faces, we've liberated Sebastian Martinez from Portugal, the 19-year-old Argentine international. 10 caps already before his 20th birthday. We're still about a month and a half away from that. But he was the key to our back line at Porto, the only player on our back line that we were planning on starting if we'd stuck around this year. 6'2", 182 pounds, very consistent player. He is an excellent tackler, fantastic teammate, and we are looking very much forward to having him anchor our back line here in Paris. Now would be an excellent time to take a look at the season preview, because we actually used this in a little way to formulate our transfer plan for the year. As you see, we are favored quite heavily to win Ligue 1 again for like the 15th, 16th year in a row. But the team predicted to come in second place by heavy favorites over third place Monaco is Rennes. So what do you do when you want to guarantee that your greatest competition is not going to have as easy a time as they would like to think? Well, you sign their top player, of course. 24-year-old Algerian-French dual national Laïrai Laribi is going to be taking over. They show him as a striker. He's going to be our new right wing once we sell Ansu Fati. We're working on that. Don't worry about it. Tremendous dribbling ability. Nice soft first touch. High composure. He's great off the ball, so he always finds those open spaces. His technique and his physicals are just, oh my goodness gracious. He is one of the fastest players in all of France. Stands at 6 foot, so his jumping reach isn't that bad either. He is an elite player, and now he is here at Paris Saint-Germain. 94 million up front. It's gonna, there's some back end money there. 139 million in total. Yes, it is a lot of money. Yes, I really did consider going out and bringing in Gershke Akar after his performance from last year, but when I had the chance to sign away Rennes' top player, I just had to take it. Quick word of advice for those of you new to Football Manager. Make sure you know the rules of the league you are playing in. Now, I got very excited when I noticed that, much like Germany and to a certain extent Portugal, France doesn't really have a lot in the way of registration rules. In fact, you can register basically as many players as you want. You want to pay their salaries? Go for it, and you can make them available to your team. But there was a caveat. It's a caveat that I missed. Only 4 non-EU players allowed. I've already signed 3 in Sebastian Martinez, Kim Seon-il, and Aimore. Unfortunately, I also have Giovanni Fernandez, Kieran O'Malley, and Gregor Muirhead. Blissfully, because of his age, Sebastian Martinez doesn't need to be registered, but it still leaves me 1 heavy. Giovanni Fernandez is 29 years old. Gregor Muirhead, 26, and there have been a lot of stories out there saying that he wants to make a move. Plenty of teams are interested, both, let's throw in Kieran O'Malley. All three are worth somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 million euros apiece. We may have a decision that we need to make before this transfer window is closed. In the meantime, we've had ourselves a few more sales, as Nuno Mensch, the 34-year-old, is officially no longer a member of Paris Saint-Germain. 23 million. I mean, it is what it is. He is on his way to Al Hilal, yet another player that we have shipped off to Saudi Arabia. Honestly, 34-year-old, they wanted him. He kind of wanted to go. They're paying him $1 million a week. We weren't going to do that. Bye. And Alejandro Garnacho, we hardly knew you. Also making $1 million a week now that he is contracted to Al Ahly. $52 million for him. He was only worth in the upper 40s. We were able to negotiate a deal. Had a couple of teams bidding against themselves. Only made 4 appearances for PSG. Just the one lone goal. He just turned 32. It was time for Garnacho to leave. And personally, former Man U man, what he did to Everton in real life this year, I'm kind of happy to see him go. Well, the theme of this transfer window is most definitely the best laid plans, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But Gonçalo Ramos, the 35-year-old Portuguese striker, has completed a move to Al Hilal, totaling $8.25 million after an illustrious 367 appearance career at PSG, where he scored 206 goals, 14 last year. Just part of our plan to make Paris Saint-Germain just a little bit younger. To that end, we also parted company with Ansu Fati. 161 appearances in the French capital, the 33-year-old, 57 million euros to go to Al Nassr. But sadly, we had too many foreign players, and we did not want to sacrifice all of the younger ones we were bringing in. So to make room for our incomings, somebody had to go out. And in this case, it was the one player that, while I wanted to keep him, I was excited about having Gregor Muirhead on the squad. He was also the one most willing to talk to other teams. So ultimately, a bidding war ensued between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Barca won out 98 million euros for Gregor Muirhead. So even though we have spent a ton of money in this transfer window, we have brought in over 460 million euros so far. We've actually brought in still more than we have spent. So we went out and got ourselves an elite left back in Antonio Sousa, the 27-year-old Portuguese international, coming over from Liverpool for 77 million euros. He's got that mentality we're looking for. World-class player, 6 goals and 210 appearances for the Reds. We also chose, since we now had an open striker position, we chose to do a little more pilfering of our biggest competition in Stade Rennais. The 24-year-old French international has only capped 4 times for his country, has not scored, although has 7 U21 goals, or had 7 U21 goals. We paid 25 million euros to pick up Il LeBlanc, who is great with the ball, another player with soft first touch, great dribbling, his beautiful technique, composure in front of the goal. He's also got the quickness that we really like. So welcome to Paris Saint-Germain, Il LeBlanc. Which does still leave us heavy by one non-EU player, and that has left Aimore as the odd man out. So we have made the difficult decision to place him on the loan transfer list, hopefully get him a little more experience, and by this time next year, and if he can stay in France, all the better, and hopefully by this time next year, there will be a permanent spot for him on our registration list. But unfortunately, this year, it does not look like it is to be. Now, if he sticks around, we'll have him play with our B team. He'll be available for the Cups and various other competitions. So The days of Amore making appearances for Paris Saint-Germain this year may not yet be up. We've named our captains for the season. Dimos Torquato last year was served as our vice captain. He has been elevated to the main position in the spot vacated by Gianluigi Donnarumma upon his retirement. And Dmytro Tarasenko is going to take his place as vice captain, the 26-year-old Ukrainian that we coveted all those many years ago. One of our team leaders. We do not have a dearth of leadership on this squad, that is for sure. There were a ton of fantastic options we could have chosen. We went with one offensive player, one defensive player to move into the 2036 season. And on the eve of our first match of the season, we have pulled off one more incoming 23-year-old Spaniard, Javier Osorio. We got him from Real Madrid in a deal that could go all the way up to potentially 85 million euros. He stands at 6'2". He's pretty strong, 187 pounds. Decent in the air, great pace. He is an elite center back. His level of concentration, his anticipation. He's a ball hawk, and he is going to be a part of our backline rotation. Which brings us to our first competitive match of the year. We are taking on Monaco in the Trophée des Champions, our first actual match and our first chance at silverware with Paris Saint-Germain. And here's how we're going to line up. It's going to be Kim Seon-il making his official debut in goal. A back four of Antonio Sousa, Dmytro Tarasenko, Javier Osorio just joining the team, and Alexander Siusha. In the midfield will be Xavi Simons and Kieran O'Malley. Our left wing will be Captain Dimas Torquato. It's going to be Lahurai Laribi on the right, with a front strike pair of Jonah Kusiasare and Il LeBlanc. Time to see what the new look Paris Saint-Germain is made of, taking on AS Monaco. Our first opportunity at a trophy. We start the regular season in just a couple of days, taking on Toulouse. We'll get to that in just a little bit. The action is underway. Where are we? We're at the Stade Charles Konan Banny in Yamoussoukro. Not sure where that is. Xavi sending it forward. Krzyzewski looking to clear it, but Torquato will pick up the loose ball, carrying it up the left wing, still around the edge of the box. Sousa sending it in, looking far post for Laribi. He's going to be pushed down, and he will earn a penalty and a chance for PSG to go ahead from the spot. Who will be taking it? It's going to be Xavi, and he delivers, beating Valters for the 1-0 lead, scoring his first goal of the season. Now, we have been moving to get this squad younger. We do have a couple of players in Goish and Xavi that are older. That's all I can say. They are still around. We have not yet been able to replace everybody. We're still doing a ton of scouting, looking for new players. Sent in looking for LeBlanc, but it's going to be cleared away. Lewis Skelly looking for Toro. Siusha steps in front of it, gets it to Laribi, moving it infield. Laribi shoots. Valters getting his hands on it and knocking it up over the crossbar. It's going to be a corner kick for PSG. Torquato, the left footer to deliver from the far side. Tarasenko, what a save by Valters. Cleared away by Monaco. It's going to go out for a PSG throw. Beautiful header by Dmytro Tarasenko. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper with perfect positioning. Ball played into the box. Toro shooting. It's going to ricochet off of the hands of Kim Seon-il and off of the post. Out for a corner. 7-3. Your shots on goal. Now, Monaco has managed to get their first 3 shots on target. Kaustis looking across, and Filippo Mane will put the header in far post. Kim Seon-il came out to challenge, didn't make it all the way, found himself out of position. And I feel like that is not the first time he has done that for a team that we have managed, although it is a bit more rare. The ensuing kickoff goes back to Tarasenko. He'll leave it for Kim Seon-il, sending it forward trying to pick out his striker, but Krzyzewski knocking it down. Ben Seguir. Elliott ahead for Marcus Leonardo. Nice standing tackle by O'Malley to poke it away. Osorio up ahead. Kusu Asari. LeBlanc moving it to his left. Still with the ball, trying to get past one defender. He does. He shoots. And Il LeBlanc, on his debut, with his first goal of the season to put Paris Saint-Germain back up 2-1 in the final couple of minutes of this first half. And Kusu Asari making the quick pass over for LeBlanc. Great dribbling skill. We were talking about that when we mentioned we signed him. Able to get behind the right back. Beat Wouters one-on-one for his first of the year. Ticking down to the end of the first half, but Elliott with a free kick looking far post will send it on and over. That time Kim Seong-il held to his line and did not make the same mistake he did the first time. 6-8 your shots on goal in favor of PSG. We could use a slight bit more of possession. I think the board would be happy with that. So I think we may knock our passing directness down just a touch. We'll see how and if that works out. They want us to play possession football, counter-attacking football, attacking football, and high-pressing football. So I'm not sure how we do all of those at the same time, but hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. Osorio having a bit of a rough time on his debut, and it's turned over to Lewis Skelly. Coming back, O'Malley knocks it away, but Xavi can't get it. Marcus Leonardo splits the defense, but cannot beat Kim Seong-il. It does not matter, however, because Marcus Leonardo has been deemed offsides. In fact, we're going to make that substitution. Kusi Asare is exhausted, which is challenging for me. We're going to bring Laribi into the striker position. Damiano Diana is going to come in as our right wing. The 18-year-old French prospect making his debut, and Sebastian Martinez will come in and replace Javier Osorio. So effectively 2 changes to be made with about 25 minutes left to go. Xavi looking for LeBlanc. He can't catch up to it before Wouters is able to slide and grab that one off of the ground. Sending it long, Marcus Leonardo wins the header. Sek playing it towards Toro, but Siuka steps in front of another one. Out wide for Laribi. Siuka again. Osorio ahead for O'Malley. The changes have not yet taken effect. O'Malley shooting it from about 20 yards out. And that is going to go all the way out into the stands as we do get those substitutions finally made. 20 minutes left in this one. PSG holding on to a 2-1 win. Torquato with the ball along the near sideline, moving it back in field. Xavi with it for Tarasenko, pivoting it forward. Laribi, O'Malley, carrying it ahead. O'Malley into the box, squaring it. LeBlanc shoots and scores. He's got a brace on his debut. Il LeBlanc, almost an afterthought of a signing, to be perfectly frank with you, because we did bring him on, or at least we started the process before we sold Gregor Muirhead. Muirhead would most likely be playing that role, but LeBlanc has stepped in and done quite nicely on his debut. And again, the added bonus of taking a player away from Rennes. Mane stepping in front of that one, gaining control. Lipari ahead for Marcos Leonardo. Still with the ball in the midfield, finds it through to Sekat, tries to chip Kim Seong-il, and he ends up chipping the entire frame of the goal at the same time. Just about 10 minutes remaining in this match. Laribi not playing as well as I would have hoped. You would think that he would be having the better debut of the 2 players that we stole from Rennes, but that is not the case. Lipari with a final third throw, and Xavi will intercept that one, but Lipari able to knock it off his feet, played in the middle. Sek ahead for Krzyzewski, back for Sek. Still has it, although he is being shadowed. Krzyzewski at edge of the box, carrying it inside, throwing it over for Sekat, conceding the corner after Martinez gets his foot in front of that one. 3 minutes added on, corner kick in. Tarasenko looks to clear it. Lipari gathering the loose ball. Back for the taker, Chekon. Chekon ahead. Ben Seguir, his shot will be saved by Kim Seong-il. I think Sebastian Martinez may have had something to say about that as well. Another corner, Chacon delivering it in. Tarasenko once again looking to clear. Marcus Leonardo trying to get it into the middle, but finally Paris Saint-Germain able to take care of the loose ball. Full time, and the first trophy in our cabinet at PSG is the Trophée des Champions. It's PSG 3, Monaco 1, and this hopefully will be the first of many on the field trophy celebrations for our brand new side. Soak it in, boys. We are the champions. Yes, it's a minor competition, I understand. There are bigger fish to fry. We want to take home the Coupe de France. We want to take home the championship of Ligue 1. And we'd love the opportunity to take home the UEFA Champions League as well. Well, now we got that whole trophy thing out of the way. It's time to start the season. We're taking on Toulouse. We are at the Parc des Princes, so a home matchup and a starting 11 that looks almost identical to the one that we started in our last match. There are going to be two changes of note. Sebastian Martinez coming in to get the start in place of Javier Osorio, and Giovanni Fernandez coming in for Xavi Simons. That's it. It's going to be Kim Seon-il, Sousa, Tarasenko, Martinez, Siuka, Fernandez, O'Malley, Torquato, Kouliasari, LeBlanc, and Laribi. Looking for our first of many, many, many League and Champions League and Cup wins this season. Although, to be fair, our only expectation from the Coupe de France is to make the 9th round, which is where we enter the competition. Toulouse, though, starting with the ball, but Siuka doing exactly what he did last match. Stepping in front of passes and gaining control. Martinez back to Siuka. Still trying to learn how I'm going to be pronouncing these names. Sent long by Kim Seon-il. Torquato heading it across for O'Malley. Keeps it in along the far sideline. Siuka once again. Martinez. O'Malley flipping it forward. He's got Laribi. He's in. He shoots and he scores. Laorai Elite Laribi having a slightly better match than the last one as he scores the first league goal for PSG this season, and it was started by Martinez. O'Malley feeding it in between the defenders. Laribi there to pick it up, gaining a step on the defenseman, and scoring the first goal of the year less than 1 minute into this match. And there it is, already sitting at the top of the table. We are the first match of the new season. PSG and Toulouse, and Laribi picking up a booking, as does Il LeBlanc. But Sousa to get things started with the final third throw-in. We'll get it back from Fernandez. Fernandez once again into the middle. LeBlanc turns, fires, and scores. Third goal of the season for Il LeBlanc. They are going to review this to see if he was offside, but I don't think he was. Not at all. No siree. In fact, we are correct. Goal has been awarded. Fernandez giving it back to Sousa, back to Fernandez, in the middle for LeBlanc, right at the penalty spot, turns and beats Kovar for the second Paris Saint-Germain goal of the evening. And so far, so good. I'm fairly certain that Toulouse is one of the newly promoted teams. So it's kind of unfortunate for them that we are beating up on them like this in their Ligue 1 debut. O'Malley, nice turn. What a play, and such a tight turn by Kieran O'Malley, and Kovar did not stand a chance. O'Malley putting it in inside the far post. Laribi making it all happen. He has picked up a slight knock. We're continuing to monitor him. But O'Malley turned to his left and puts it past Kovar to give Paris Saint-Germain the 3-0 lead. Hopefully we can hang on to a lead such as this. We're going to wait till after the corner kick to potentially replace Laribi. As the ball goes out, it will be a goal kick. Laribi looks like he cannot continue. So Yedel Valverde is going to come in and make his season debut. As our right wing, Laribi already scoring on the early season. Torquato with another corner looking near post. cleared away. Fernandez will track it down, play it forward. Martinez is there, into the middle. O'Malley taken out of the play. No call. Played all the way out into the PSG end. Sousa, and now Tarasenko in control. Sousa with it once more. Holding, back for Tarasenko. He'll reverse his field right to the right. Martinez ahead. O'Malley feeding it through. Kusuasare is in. And Jonah Kusuasare with his first goal of the year. And now it ain't funny. It is 4-0 Paris Saint-Germain, assuming he was not offside, which he was. So Kusuasare is going to have to wait a little bit longer to pick up his first goal of the year. And I don't like where they drew that line. I feel the right back was playing him on, but what do I know? I'm just the schnook in the chair outside of Philadelphia. 9-1 your shots on goal for the first half. 3-0 Paris Saint-Germain with the lead. We are doing very, very well so far, so we are going to make no changes for the second half. Tarasenko, though, on a yellow card, as is LeBlanc, so we're going to keep our eye on the momentum of the match and see if we need to keep those two out there any longer than we need to. We don't want to risk them potentially picking up a red card. Goals by... Wait, it said we had 4 goals. Did you notice that? Interesting. Are they counting a goal that hasn't happened yet? We'll see. Rouault controlling for Toulouse. Wide for Williams. Inside Rubio. Is that Nico Williams? I have a feeling it is. Francais getting it back from Narcisi. Feeds Bungard. Left wing Lacombe. Siusha once again picking up the ball. Sent forward by Kim Seong-il. Kusuasare cushions a header down to Torquato. Carrying it up that far sideline. Torquato looking for LeBlanc. Cannot find it. Vidi will clear it. O'Malley, though, playing it ahead. Valverde with it into the box. Francis will take it away from him, but Valverde steals it into the middle. Kusuasare sticks his foot out, knocks the ball forward, and it's 4-0 PSG. And I told you it was going to be just a little bit longer before Kusuasare picks up his first goal of the season. Francis to throw it in. Narcisi blocked by O'Malley, but he gets it back. Feeding for Lacombe. Narcisi once again to the right, picked off by Kusuasare. LeBlanc back for Kusuasare. It's 3-on-2 developing. Left side, Torquato. Torquato up, shooting. Save made by Kovar. LeBlanc can't get there before Francis clears it away, and Lacombe will gain control along the near side. Tarasenko will make way for Borja Heredia, making his debut. Kusuasare having a very good match so far. Baldarase is going to come in place of him. He'll swap places with Dimas Torquato, who will take his position at the front as our secondary striker. Sousa to throw it in. Valverde making a nice move past one man, throwing it back post. Baldassare should have scored, but instead misses the target and it goes out for a goal kick. 15 minutes remaining in the match. Paris Saint-Germain enjoying a 4-0 lead. And we're actually going to be cruising to victory. It's our home debut at PSG, and it could not have gone better than it already has. Well, let's keep the clean sheet before we start making any pronouncements like that. Kovar sending it long to the midfield stripe. Torquato will gain control. LeBlanc ahead. He's got Valverde behind the defense. Will he be cut off? Kind of. He gets the shot off, but Kovar able to get his hands on that one to deflect it behind for a corner. Now Valverde is going to take it. We're trying a bunch of other bench players just to see who works. Fernandez with a good header, but Kovar played that one perfectly, snagging it out of the air. 3 minutes added on at the end will come and go, and PSG wins their first home match of the year. Hopefully that is the first of many to come. We have a lot of football ahead of us. Champions League coming up in just about a month. We'll see who we draw next episode. I hope that you will be there. Please make sure you like this video. Also subscribe if you have not already. And come on back tomorrow now. You hear? I'll see you then. Bye-bye.